What was that fucking noise you just made?
You know, you don't have to ask questions.
I am asking the questions. Like, what was the noise that you just... What just came out of your mouth? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Between Two Consoles. We're your hosts, Trydus and...
Hellfire.
Otherwise known as...
Nathan.
Bergie.
What was this intro?
Otherwise known as... The artist formerly known as...
Yes.
Yes. Good evening. It's been a spell.
It has been.
We haven't seen you in a while. We've seen each other a couple of times.
One too many.
I just can't resist those eyes. Especially, but I can now because he doesn't have his glasses, so he can't do the whole thing tonight. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work on anybody. Ask your girlfriend. Anybody. It doesn't. See, that doesn't even count. Sunglasses don't count. It's not.
You were saying.
I'm a bit embarrassed to continue this train of thought.
I don't even know what's going on right now anymore.
This is a whole thing. Anyway, so welcome to Between Two Consoles. This is where Hellfire and I kind of jaw-jack all about video games and video game industries and things going on and things are happening. And today we kind of want to keep this light.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep it lighter than we have for the past couple episodes. You know, if you guys recall, first episode we talked about E3 and everything like that. Last episode we talked about the gaming industry, where we think everything's kind of leading. Today we're actually just going to kind of just spout things that we're just spout about games of yesteryear. Games that very nostalgic, things that we always just want to go back to play because they're just too good.
Too good. They're the things that we grew up on, the things that always make you feel like good and comfortable. It's kind of almost like comfort games in a way. Like that game that you're always just like, you know what, I have no idea what to play today, but I will always play that game.
Right, exactly.
Right? Like, that game will always that will get a reinstall, or that will get a dig through the box and find, or whatever else like that.
Right.
That's when those kind of games or those game series is that you could always feel good about going back to no matter what, even if it sucks or even if it's
30 years old.
I'm 31. I don't get it.
Did you explain to Nate that the computer games used to come in boxes?
Yes, I know what a floppy disk is, Dylan. Thank you.
No, it's not the save icon, Nate.
Really, I thought that was just an SD card.
I don't know. Yes.
We had them back in elementary school.
Back in the day, cartridges just came in big boxes.
I miss the apple egg, the eggs.
Oh yeah.
The multicolored apple eggs.
That's right.
I miss those things.
Yeah.
Marble Blast Gold. That should have been on my list. God.
I've been honestly thinking, as we've been talking about things that should have been on my list, and there are things that are like, this list is growing. I'm gonna keep it under 10, because I think there are a ton of games out there that ultimately that I'll just always kind of go back and play or kind of be wistful to. But overall, I guess I'll just kind of jump into it.
Yeah, please do, because you're the one that has the shorter list than he has 5. I've got 10.
I had 5. I started this podcast with 5, and then it's come to 8 now in my brain. So the first game for me, and these are in no particular order.
Yeah. I don't think that any of them will ever be better than the others.
No, and then you can make those debates, but it's really what comes to nostalgia for us. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
These are the things that make us feel good. And for me, Final Fantasy VII is going to be a game that's I'm always going to want to pick up and play, especially when it's released in 2040 again. The remaster is done.
They did actually give it a release date.
Yeah, I'll believe it when it's here.
Okay.
Yep, I'll believe
you and everyone else at the
I
office.
will believe it when it's physically in my hands. I'll believe that.
Hey, more power to you.
Yeah, I'm just saying, hey man, I've been around long enough to not get my hopes up about that particular game until it's confirmed and I've grasped it and it's in a console.
Well, they all can't be Duke Nukem forever.
Yeah, right. Good lord.
So
Well, that's a game that I always play. It's a lot of nostalgia factor. It's one of the greatest games of all time by itself. It was my introduction. Well, I wouldn't say that. It wasn't my first introduction to the Final Fantasy series, but it was definitely the one that hooked me. The character's amazing. The story is unbelievable. And the gameplay was just second to none. I mean, even the graphics for its time were pretty good.
Well, even just with its transitions, going from the blocky polygons to the overworld to your high definition for the time, 3D sprites.
Mm-hmm.
Just the transitioning from that and everything, and that didn't take super long to load either.
Right.
No. That's what really got it, and that's I think where game companies were also this CD thing. This is something that we should probably use.
It's probably a little bit of SMRT, like the whole cartridge thing. Kind of cool, but ultimately not where we should really be going. So that's one. From the next one, and I mean, and I could go on. I'm trying to cut myself off here because I could talk about Final Fantasy VII all day long, and I don't want to eat this podcast with just talking about Final Fantasy VII. Go Zach. What? Zach's better in COD. Ooh, did I say that?
Good things was not here.
It's actually kind of a funny story about that, but another game I have gone back and played, and I cannot tell you how many hours I've dumped into this game just simply because there is no record. Rome Total War.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The first Rome Total War way back in the day, before Steam, before everything else. When that was
before
on PC.
When you had to actually go out and buy a game physically.
Right, like you could.
I had to once walk through 10 feet of snow, but
well, you
like just. I know. Yeah, I see where you're going. Anyway.
Uphill both ways. 15 feet of snow in a snowstorm in middle of January. 30 below.
5 miles away.
5 miles away. 30 below weather. 30 below wind chill.
Just so that I could go home and sit next to the warm PC.
I could finally play and feel my fingers.
We've only both had one drink each, I swear.
Oh, just the one beer. By the way, we're sponsored by Blacklist Brewery. And thank you guys for sponsoring us. Your beer is awesome. I enjoy it every time it goes past my lips.
Very good, very good brew here that they got going.
Yeah, we're both drinking the Belgian style India Pale Ale, or IPA, if you will, the BIPA. The BIPA. It's very good. I like it.
Very good. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to pass a free beer.
No, not at all. And the local beer from Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah, so if you are in the Minnesota area, specifically if you are in the Duluth area, definitely go check out Blacklist. Yeah. Their brewery and everything is phenomenal. And I'm very happy that they are willing to sponsor us.
Yes. All the beer. All the time. Thank you. Anyway, we segued a little bit there.
When don't we segue?
That's true. Okay, Rome Total War. So that was in the before time. I probably have like 2,000 hours into it, something like that. I think on my Steam currently, when I got it for Steam, and I think I have like 700 or 800 hours on it on Steam, and I bought it several years before that when I was a wee little tyke, and like I just dumped as many hours as I possibly could have into that. It's unbelievable. But it's one of those games where it's easy for me to jump back into. I could play it on a low tech like laptop if that's all I got with me. I actually, when I went to Italy a few years ago, I played Rome in Rome because I had to. I had to.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, I sat in a hostel and I'm like, I must do this. I installed it and I opened it and I played a couple hours of campaign. And I played a couple more hours of campaign in Venice while waiting for the train.
Well, you know what they say, when in Rome.
When in Rome. Do what I want. It's great. It's a good time. It had to be done.
I'm gonna get shit for saying a pun on stream.
In Rome. All right, so Rome Total War, amazing game. It still holds up. Like it still has a lot of good features. It still has a lot of good mechanics that the other Total War games since then have either improved upon or changed. But for the most part, Rome Total War, the first one, is still It's its own game. You can easily play it. You can easily pick it up. It's still challenging.
Right.
It's still fun. Even if it's lower graphics, it's still good.
Well, and expanding on that, games back in the day, the difficulty spike was vastly different than games are now.
Absolutely.
I'll take into example, again, anybody that's tuning in for the first time or has just kind of forgotten, I do currently work for Activision as a QA tester for them. I do currently work at the Black Ops 4 title. And the difficulty spike between Black Ops 4 zombies and Black Ops 3 zombies is vastly different. Like, they kind of hold your hand at Black Ops 4. And I mean, that's only a difference of 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I think actually about 3 years, because if I'm remembering correctly, it was BO3, Infinite Warfare, World War II, then BO4. So about 4 years.
That's crazy.
Which we actually, that's something for Osh stream. But yeah, no, the difficulty spikes of games, the difficulty just in general of games has changed vastly.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to me how different that is. I mean, there are games like we could use Final Fantasy VII as an example. Ruby Weapon, right? I mean, that's a whole thing. You know, Diamond Weapon. I mean, that's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those bosses, we're nigh impossible unless you did some very specific things.
Right.
Unless you had some very specific items.
Whereas nowadays,
and you had to figure it out.
You're right. Whereas nowadays, you can just go on your phone, Google it, or pay for it.
Yeah, we didn't have that back in the day, right? Like our Metal Gear, first Metal Gear Solid, you had to beat. Like, so Psycho Mantis would read off your saves.
One of the more elaborate boss fights of the PlayStation 1 era, which it's funny enough it's on my list.
That's awesome.
But
that's a game too.
Yeah,
I could go back and play it too.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that one.
Yeah, we'll come back. But my point is that the difficulty was not only challenging, but like it gave you no hints.
No.
Like it didn't. You had to figure this out, or you were SOL. And mostly it was done through swearing. I mean, frankly, but you're right. Now, like a lot of games, even with games are like puzzle games, or I have puzzles built into it. Though, for the most part, they're not going to let you not get through the game or get through it. Right.
They'll still give you that challenge factor, but they're going to make it easier for you to figure it out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Again, the challenging aspects of everything. I wish it was like back in the day, like Link to the Past, Zelda, for instance. I mean, you had way different mechanics with that going on. Again, another game that's on my list that we'll talk more about.
Right.
But again, I don't think we'll not be able to say it enough times, but just games back in the day were a lot more challenging and difficult than they are now.
Absolutely. Try not to stay on that too long. But okay, so another game series that I really dig right now, and I go back. This is a newer game, not crazy new, but it's a game that I still go back and install and play through. XCOM.
Yeah, original XCOM.
Original XCOM, and then XCOM Enemy Unknown, Enemy Within, and now 2 that came out not too long ago, which I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that Enemy Within that, or the first one, Enemy Unknown, Enemy Within. Like that game, I put a ton of hours. I played through the campaign a bunch of times just because like I just really enjoy the turn-based tactics. I really just love setting everything up. There's just so much to that game. The story is really interesting to me.
Yeah. And
the malleability in the customization of your troops and your base and all that, and so you could go out and no two map is the same in the sense of like a lot of the maps are generated similarly, but no two missions are going to turn out the same.
Right.
And that's always like I love the strategy behind it. I love taking that to new levels. And actually, what I really liked about 2 is 2 changed the game in a lot of ways. And a lot of people are really frustrated. But a lot of people are really frustrated with the challenge of 2, how hard it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually really like that. And I found by the end of the game, it was actually really easy.
Right.
But anyway, so that's one. Then okay, so it's not. I wouldn't say it's a specific one, but like so the Ace Combat series. For me, and I started in 3, and I kind of moved backwards and then moved forwards. But I found I absolutely adore those games. Mm-hmm. I love those. I love flight sim games in general. And the Ace Combat series, and they take a couple of different directions. They have one that's in the real world, and then like a bunch of them are kind of are in this fictional world, and then take place between different countries or different continents between them. But it's a really super involved story. They do a really good job of bringing you into it. Mm-hmm. But the flight sim aspect, the actual like the real flight mechanics, takeoff and landing and everything else. I kid you not. I went out to the Air Guard base in North Dakota in Fargo. We did like a field trip when we were in school, and I was the only kid in class who could take off, fly, and land in the flight simulator. And I owe all of that to Ace Combat. Boom. And they're like, "How did you do that?" First time I've ever been a flight sim before. Like, hey man. It's got those skills, you know. But it was really cool, and that's a really good example of like you can get a lot from this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. So another one. Okay. So this is one I jump back into often, and Red, who's off camera, this is one we play back and forth like. Still to this day, every once in a while, Age of Empires 2 specifically. We play classic strategy game. Still keeps up to the times.
Right.
They've done actually a lot of since they put it on Steam. They've done a lot of improvements to the AI, so it's a lot. It's almost a lot of a different game. Mm-hmm. They've improved the graphics. So they have an HD edition now, which whatever. But it's one of those games for me that it's a really easy. For me to jump in and just play a quick skirmish or play a bit of a campaign, and I actually got a lot of history out of that game. Like I learned and understood a lot of history just playing that game, mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I have such an interest in history.
Right.
So that's one. Got a couple more that were not on the list that John made the list. So this is I don't know if you know this game. Have you ever played Zone of the Enders?
I've heard of it.
Okay. So Zone of the Enders takes place on a Martian space colony. Was it the orbit of Jupiter ring? Jupiter moon. Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, but it was basically on a Halo ring. It was a Halo ring before there was a Halo ring. This is way before Halo. This is way before Combat Evolved. So Zone of the Enders takes place in this near future, and you're this. So there's colonists and a corporation on this Halo ring, and then there's some separatists. It's been so long since I'm trying to remember the exact story, but there's these two factions who end up fighting each other, and the colonists. It's like Earth and Earth-owned things, and then separatists basically. And then separatists attack the Halo colony, if you will, and then so this kid's trying to escape it, mm-hmm. And he ends up and it's all based through mechs, they're all just mechs that are doing all the fighting,
right?
And he ends up stumbling into this new mech, and he interfaces with the mech and becomes this pilot. And you just so you play as him, and you're trying to find your parents, you're trying to kind of save the world essentially. You find your friend, and so you get your friend to safety, and then there's just a lot of this back and forth. It was a really interesting drama between yourself and other rival pilots, mm-hmm. Basically. And you're into rival. There's a couple different mechs, enemy mechs, and one of them, it's a really dark and dramatic story.
Right.
It was made by. Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, Hideo Kojima. Oh,
yeah.
That's why I know it.
That's why you know it. Anyway, so it's the art's very similar. I mean, so in Metal Gear Solid, for example, you'll see posters for Zone of the Enders.
Yeah.
Running around. So, but yeah, it was an incredible game. It was a lot of fun. They actually had a sequel. I never played the sequel, but I would love to have seen a remaster of that game and see where that could have went. Mm-hmm. It was great. Another one I always find a way to dive back into is several iterations of the Dynasty Warriors series. 3, 4, and 5, and 6 and 7 are okay, but everything after it's kind of sucked. But I love the hack and slash aspect. I love the just jumping. I love the Romance of the Three Kingdoms there is a super fascinating piece of part of history. But the hack and slash, the strategy behind that, they added some different strategic aspects to the later games. The very character-driven stories. It really sucked you into it. It really made you feel like you're really part of the fledgling Han Dynasty, and all the other factions that rose up after the fall. It's fascinating. It was actually, the funny thing is that I got Final Fantasy X, I didn't like it, and I returned it, and I got Dynasty Warriors 3, and I loved it. And then I didn't get into Final Fantasy until 7, and then I actually ended up finding my way back to 10 and loving it, which I don't know why 10 didn't. I don't know why 10 didn't hook me. I think the reason 10 didn't hook me is because I played the Final Fantasy 8 demo, and I didn't like it. And so then I got 10, and I didn't like. I felt like this was going to be the same thing,
right?
And I didn't, which was wholly wrong.
Right.
But anyway, it's funny how some games you don't think you're gonna like initially, so you get something else, and then years later you end up finding your way back to it.
Yeah, you go back to it, and then you actually take a deeper look at it, and it's like, hey, I actually do like this.
Yeah, I actually do this.
I do actually like this.
So yeah, that's kind of my list. I have obviously other games that I absolutely love to jump into randomly. Rome 2 is one. I mean, the Metal Gear Solid series I absolutely love. Yeah, there's also too many to name, but we could be here all night.
Yeah, I mean, we could spend hours upon hours talking about this.
Right. So anyway, what's on your list?
So, my list will definitely tell you the generational difference between me and Mr. Bergstein here.
Bergstein Bears.
Because the first one I wrote down was SSX3.
Wow.
SSX3. Now Not saying that Tricky is a better game or anything. I loved both. I loved all of the SSX games, even when they rebooted it back in 2010, 2011, 2012, back on the 360. But SSX3 has a special place in my heart. I would play it so much with friends. Went up to the cabin each summer. Had a friend up there that we would play it all the time. It holds a special place in my heart. And I recently just bought a PS2 last month as a birthday present to myself, and one of the games that I bought for it was actually the two games that I bought for it were SSX3 and SSX Tricky, because I just loved the game so much and loved playing them and just wanted to actually experience them again because they were just so much fun. Next one that I have on my list is Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo.
Like OG Super Mario.
Super Mario World.
Check.
Because guys my age, 23, grew up on N64s. I grew up on the Super Nintendo. And so I had, Super Mario World, Super Mario All-Stars with 1, 2, The Lost Levels, and 3, Yoshi's Island, Link to the Past, all these other fun games. But Super Mario World, visually stunning, even to now, so colorful. Gameplay is great. I love the boss fights. Everything about it was just fantastic. The K power-up, great.
Solid game.
Yeah, everything about it was great. The next one that I have here, again, shows the generational difference. Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon for the Xbox 360, the original one. Because the styling of it, because Forza has two different series within its franchise. It has the Motorsport series, which is its true to heart simulation racer. You're on racetracks, from around the world. Whereas Horizon is the arcade racer. You're going around, you're smashing shit for points. You're doing drifts for points. Top speed, going through races, events, other shit like that. First one was set in Colorado, and the car list for it was amazing. Everything from your 1970 Boss 302 Mustang to a 90s Viper to a Lamborghini Diablo, up to modern day supercars at the time, because that was like 2008, 8 or something was that. And so that just I love arcade games. If you can't tell, I have a Mighty Ducks hat on and a Back to the Future shirt. I love 80s.
This dude's a blast from the past, man.
I'm an 80s pop culture nerd. I love that shit. And so every time I see an arcade, Up Down Bar in Minneapolis, I love going there. It's fantastic, and I just love arcade racers. They're just the best thing to ever come out of the industry. And we had touched on it a little bit before, Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo as well. I'm a gigantic Zelda nut. Zelda is my absolute favorite franchise. Love the series. Always great games. You know, there hasn't been a bad one. CDI. But we don't talk about the bastard child of the family. Link to the Past was the very first Zelda game that I played. Because at the time, again, I had a Super Nintendo. And again, just like Super Mario World, visually stunning. Bright colors, great mechanics, great gameplay. Phenomenal. It's my favorite of the 2D Zeldas, but not my favorite Zelda of all time. That spot is filled by Twilight Princess, which is not on my list, but a bunch of other really good games are. But again, Link to the Past, phenomenal game. Still have it at home. Love playing it. Next one I originally had as just Metal Gear Solid, but I'm going to put it as the whole series. More specifically, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, that game has a ton of replayability.
And
it's so good. It's so good.
It's fantastic because it's perfect. It was supposed at the time. It was the ender to the entire Metal Gear series.
Mm-hmm.
There was not supposed to be another one, and it really still is the ender for the series.
Because the story ends at 4.
Story-wise, yes, it ends there. You know, Big Boss finally dies. Snake finally dies. The fucking scene of Meryl's wedding to Johnny, and Otacon says to Sonny, Snake had a hard life. Like, if you don't cry during that, you're a monster.
Yeah.
Like,
if you don't know, like, if you know all the context, and oh man,
just it's a fantastic looking game. Even nowadays,
yes,
looks just stunning. Great gameplay, great mechanics. They added in so much new shit into it. It was phenomenal. Old Snake is probably the best character out of the entire series. I love it. He's at least for how long he's been born, he's probably like in his mid to late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
But actually, because of the Fox die and everything, he's in his 60s, 70s. And he's that grizzled war vet that just is just like, give me a fucking cigarette.
Right, yeah.
I love it. And it's just, again, great story. Fuck the microwaves.
Yeah, no kidding.
But everything else, top notch.
Perfect. Perfect game.
The next one on my list is a PlayStation 1 game. Need for Speed 3, or I guess it'd be everything, but Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit.
I was thinking about that myself.
Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit.
Hot Pursuit was a great game.
I love that game, and I chose that over Hot Pursuit 2 because fuck the cops in Hot Pursuit 2. Oh my god, are they so... They're ruthless.
Yeah, they're just up your ass the whole
But
game.
Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, I loved it. Or no, not Hot Pursuit 2. I'm thinking Most Wanted 2. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
But
it's still.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
But no, Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit was fantastic.
God, it was a fun game.
Loved it.
That was probably the one racing game I played more than probably any other one.
Yeah, I loved it. Cover car for that one was a Lamborghini Diablo. Nice yellow Diablo. Looked really good. Yeah, loved that. Went to my grandma's house all the time and played it. She had that there. It was the only video game thing that she had at her house, and it was just that's always what I played. So I kind of blame that for my love-hate addiction of cars. Continuing on, this is going to definitely be like the tangent one, not Super Mario World or SSX3. Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
Ooh.
Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Not Pro Skater, not American Wasteland, Underground 2.
Played a lot
For for the multitude of consoles. Even the Game Boy Advance games, those were phenomenal. Mostly because it had fucking Whiplash from Metallica in the soundtrack.
That's right.
Loved that.
Yeah, I played a lot of Pro Skater, man.
But Underground 2, like I love the Pro Skater series. Underground 2 will again always hold a special place in my heart. I loved playing that. Played it all the time. It was great. And again, I bought a GameCube a few years ago, and that was one of the purchases that I made for it. Is because I loved that game so much.
That's good.
Then we'll jump up a few generations here. Gran Turismo 5. I will say, and you guys can fight me in chat, in the comments, wherever this gets posted, even on social media. Gran Turismo 5 is the best Gran Turismo game. I love the original one. I love 2, I love 3, and I love 4. 5 was the best one. Had, at the time, the most amount of cars that you could get in a Gran Turismo game. The used car dealership was probably the best addition to that game. The amount of tracks, customization, outstanding. It was the definitive Gran Turismo. I love 6. 6 was another good game. And Sport is fantastic if you want like a true simulator racer. But 5 was the best.
I don't know. I don't know enough to give an opinion either way, but I can see what you're saying. There were a lot of really good mechanics that were introduced.
There was so much good things about that game, you know, and it gave us the Gran Turismo pace car Nissan R34 GTR that looked great, and I remember playing online a lot with people on the Special Stage X course, and people would just be in that pretending to be the police and do top speed runs on that course. It was great.
That's awesome.
And then again, so the next one is an Activision title, and again, completely personal opinion about it, not sponsored by the company to talk about any of this kind of stuff, but Black Ops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. That holds a special place in my heart because it was the very first Call of Duty that I really played. And I played probably a little too much of it. I think I went like Prestige 6 in that game on multiplayer. Because the story of the Black Ops games is great. The main campaign of Black Ops 2 was phenomenal. Had great characters. Set pieces were really good. Story was actually like well brought out and everything. And the multiplayer, I think, was probably some of the best in that game. Controls were very tight. Weapons were well balanced. It was good. It was a really good game. The zombies, I liked Transit, and I like some of the other ones. I do think Blood of the Damned was really good. And the Easter eggs for everything was great, and will forever be really good. But the timeline for the zombie story is just fucking all over the place. I looked back into it the other day because I completely forgot about everything, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's why I forgot about everything. It's just a lot. And the end of at least the list that I wrote is it's another racing game, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Classic.
I loved Double Dash, still do, and I think it's one of the best Mario Kart games out there.
Yeah.
You know, it was great because you could have 2 players on just one screen. You didn't have to go split screen or anything with it. You could have 2 players in the same cart, do special items, double items. That's when they introduced double items. It was great.
That's awesome.
I love Mario Kart Double Dash. Still have it, and it's just phenomenal. It's great. I love it.
Classics. So many good games.
Yeah, and I mean a lot more come to mind. Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time. Just for Zelda games, Super Mario Sunshine. I'm trying to think of a lot of the Sonic series.
Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter games. This goes on. Halo. I'll always
Halo.
go back to classic, Combat Evolved. I love that game. 3 was amazing, and there's so. Actually, I'll every once in a while I'll reinstall Halo Wars and I'll play that. I love that as an RTS.
Halo Reach is the best one. Fight me.
Oh no fight here.
Reach had the best multiplayer out of all of the Halos.
It absolutely did. It was awesome, and the story of Reach, unbelievable. The game is unbelievable
because it was the prequel to everything. Like it was when the fucking Spartans were first out.
Yeah.
There was no Master. The reason why there was no Master Chief is because, well, there wasn't a Master Chief yet.
Well, no, that's not true.
Well,
okay.
Not in the sense of where Master Chief has gone from now.
Well, okay. I'll put like John 117 was around and serving, and he was on playing around, but the chronology, he wasn't the legend that he ends up becoming.
Yeah, the Master Chief was not the Master Chief at the time. He was still John 117.
Yeah, he wasn't the you're right, because he wasn't the legend he was, but he was around, and that was when still all the Spartan 2s were around.
Yep. And
now there's only a handful.
Right.
And you end up seeing you see one die there, George, and then but a bunch of them fell on Reach.
Yeah, I mean the entire Noble team fell on Reach. I mean, we first
and those
lost
were all Spartan 3s.
Yeah,
except for George.
Yeah, so we lost to George. George was the first one. Yeah. Well, actually, no, we didn't lose all the Noble team. I forgot about that.
Because one of them makes it.
Noble 4, June.
Yeah,
June was the only one that we actually still to this day don't know. No, don't know the whereabouts or what happened to him.
No, he was because he escorted Halsey out.
Yep, because he left Halsey from Oni. Yep. But we first lost George on the Covenant Corvette.
And he went out thinking he had stopped the invasion.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so we first lost George.
Yep.
Then we lost Kat.
Yeah. Oh man, that was such a tough scene.
Yeah.
It's so sudden.
Yeah, and then we lost.
Was Carter.
We lost Carter next, which Carter, you first meet Carter and you're like, man, this is just a prick. He's an asshole. But the way that he goes out, he
redeems himself.
He definitely redeems himself. And then fucking Emil.
Yeah, like a boss.
I'm gonna go out just punching an elite in the face.
Yeah.
Even when it's just, oh my god, it was fantastic. And then, we end the game with quite possibly the best ending mission objective ever of survive.
Yeah. Just as long as you possibly can.
Yep, you're playing the mission Lone Wolf and your mission objective is to survive.
Yeah, just to go as long as you can.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, we lost all of Noble Team except for Noble 4. We still do not know to this day what happened to June.
Yeah. I don't think they list. I guess I should go back and read that because I don't. He never appears in any of the other games.
No, June does not show up at all.
I wish. Yeah, you kind of wish he did. I guess I haven't played 5. I've never played 5.
5 is very short, I will say.
Short. No.
It's actually rather short, and the story is. I won't say it's bad, but it's not the best.
I'm hoping it's one of those things where they're building up to like 6 being a really great story.
Oh, I think Infinite's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's gonna be a really great game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's one of those situations where 5 is just getting us to 6.
Yes.
Which I would be fine with. But
oh no, June was Noble 3. That's right.
Yeah.
Because Kat was Noble 2, yeah. George was Noble 6 or Noble 4. Emil was Noble 5, and then your character was Noble 6. That's right.
That's right. That sounds right. Oh, that was a good game. I replayed that a bunch.
Yeah,
that and ODST. I played ODST quite a bit.
Yeah, ODST was another good one.
I loved the firefight in ODST.
Firefight was really good.
Yeah, I stopped playing Halo multiplayer after ODST. I played a little bit of Reach, but I stopped really playing Halo multiplayer after ODST. You want to know why I stopped playing that? It's me and a few buddies. We were playing Firefight. We are several rounds. We are on the final round. We're 3 hours into this game. 3 to 4 hours. Something. Yeah, it was past 3 hours. So one of our buddies, he was playing. He's in Japan. He was stationed in Japan, Yeah, he was in the Navy. And we're in the final fight, final round, and we're at the last wave, and he DCs.
Oh no!
Which takes the whole game down.
Oh,
Because that was it. And he didn't come back. And it's like, no. Like, just, I cannot express to you the volume of emotions.
right.
And that was it. I was done. Like, I can't, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
Like, nope, I didn't pick it up again after that. And now I played a little bit of Reach's multiplayer. And I played a little bit of, like, 3 and everything. It's a little bit competitively.
Mm-hmm.
And now, so I did some comp with, like, but yeah, everything after that, no, fuck that.
Right. I mean, a lot of the games that really bring nostalgia to me is definitely a lot of puzzle, action, adventure, games like that. I mean, Doom. I mean,
Diablo.
Diablo 2. Yeah.
Classics.
Doom, Diablo, Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah.
Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah.
I mean, so many good games back. From back then. Again, I love classic games. I love classic gaming. Again, 80s pop culture nerd. I love shit from back in the day. That's why I love retrowave music, is because it harkens back to that time period.
That's why we.
And it's phenomenal. I mean, we, for our pre-shows and everything, we run a retrowave playlist, which you can't find on Spotify. It is literally just synthwave / retrowave.
Right.
So go and enjoy yourself some great music.
Speaking of old classic games, movie I watched the other night, Rampage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh God, Rampage.
Yeah. So those of you not familiar, Rampage is a classic arcade game of defeating escaped humans turned giant mutated animals. Anyway, so I watched the movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson the other night. It's actually like, hey, look again. Like, I'm not going into that movie expecting Shakespearean prose or anything, man. It's a good popcorn eater, and if you're there, if you go into it wanting to be entertained by just like crazy action and over the top effects and all that,
right,
you're gonna get and the rock one-liners. You're gonna get what you pay for,
right?
So. But like, and there were some good references to the games, and it was just fun. It was just fun to watch. But yeah, that brought back a lot of nostalgia.
Right. Some other games too, like some more fighting games, anime games, Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi series.
Oh, that game was good.
Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was probably the best.
Yes, I agree with that.
Just classic arcade fighters. Soul Calibur, Soul Calibur 2, everything like that. Killer Instinct 2, yeah.
Classics. Oh, House of the Dead.
Oh, House of the Dead, Typing of the Dead.
Yeah, I think this might be a good place to round off. I have a thought. If you like arcade games and you like old school titles, you like new school titles, you like getting together with a bunch of people who like to do those things, there's this con in Minnesota. It happens every year. It is on its 4th year. 2D Con, Minnesota's largest gaming event. They're going to have over 150 arcade boxes there. They have a ton of arcade cabinets. Excuse me. They have a ton of events, panels, 2 of which we're doing.
Yep.
One of which is our new debut, or next season of Bullet Time, which this guy is a member of. And also, we are doing another rendition of Spicy Fan Fiction, where we read fiction, bad fan fiction, or good, depending how you look at it, and eat various levels of hot peppers.
I mean, I don't know, that Shrek Titanic one is going to be pretty fucking good.
I've heard some things, and I'm it's not for the easily offended or the hardly offended.
I mean, I think
Go into it expecting to for it to be NSFW. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
I will say that if you do appear to be easily offended, certain words that we won't call those people,
That'll be fun.
straight away. But if you do want to enjoy some guys, myself included, unfortunately, again.
And there's a gal on the panel list here too.
Yeah, that's actually there is. Because it's gonna be the four of us. It's gonna be the four of us and then her as well. So we'll have a total of 5 people on the panel this time.
I believe so.
It will be myself, Zomboy, Drake. Drake's
No, he
no,
won't be there.
he's not. Oh, that's right. No, he's not there.
No, he had to bow out this year.
That's right. So then it will probably be the 4 of us.
Yeah,
Just the 4.
and maybe one of us will pitch in if it's because we want it to go a while. It's gonna be
Right.
at least 2 hours. So
Yep.
maybe.
And so the cast of it right now is at least myself, Zomboy, Grumbledore, and I can't remember her name.
I
but
don't know
we
her
will
name.
have another individual with us on the panel.
Yeah, we haven't really announced that yet. So I think we'll announce it at the panel.
Yep.
on
So,
social media.
but if you have not heard about 2DCon, or if you were kind of thinking about going or not, go to 2DCon. Go to 2DCon.
Tickets are $35 right now. You can play all the arcade games you want for that.
They have an initial D machine, and I'm going to be there all day.
Yes, they do. They have VR setups. They got an Oculus and the PlayStation.
VR probably as well.
Yeah. So they got a bunch of that set up. Good music, good panelists. A lot of really cool and interesting people are going to be there. A lot of board games, a lot of space for board gaming. It's a do whatever you want.
Yep.
You know.
And if you already have bought your ticket for 2DCon and everything, come stop by. We'll be around. Taking videos and photos, everything, meandering around. Come say hi to us.
Absolutely.
Again, our first bullet time is
It's Friday night at 10 p.m. and then Spice of Fanfics is Saturday night at midnight.
Yep.
And we'll have a list of the panelists available out there as well.
Right.
Because I think we're still kind of confirming and making sure that people are going to be able to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Do the things, but that'll be really good. And we're also going to be doing chili there as well.
Yep.
So we're going to be hosting some chili on I think it's the 4th floor. But we haven't confirmed that detail yet. We know we're doing it. We just don't know exactly the room yet. But we'll have that all over our social media. So just please go find that.
Yep.
Other than that,
I think that's really all that we've got for this evening.
I think that's all we got for tonight.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
So again, I think we were talking about it last time, but I think one of, if not our next show, I think we might be taking some viewer questions.
Yes.
Some other questions. So if you guys have any kinds of questions within the gaming industry or things that you just kind of want to hear us just splurge words about, please go onto our socials. I'm sure that we'll probably make a Facebook post, Instagram posts, and maybe even some other social media posts. Just like hey, what kind of questions do you guys want to ask? Comment, and next show I think we'll probably answer some questions. Do we? Anybody have any questions from this evening?
No questions.
No questions.
No cues.
A certain chasm that glitters is making fun of you in chat.
Of course,
As you do.
as typical for a spouse to do.
You guys got married?
I was like, that's an interesting choice of words. We can make fun of more later.
I have beer in me.
That's true. But yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, we'll be posting some things up. If you have any questions for myself or Grandma's boy over here,
A fantastic movie that you all should go watch.
That's for fucking nostalgia factor. That's
Blue smoke machine over here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think we're good to go. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. We'll definitely be hopefully seeing all of you at 2DCon. So
yeah, and again, if you guys have any questions, even just for us, like outside the shows and everything, I'm sure you can reach Bergie here at any of the RCL pages, or is it just Travis Berggren on Instagram?
no, it's at Trydus. Everything, all my
Is it at
social
Trydus?
media.
Okay.
All my social media is at Trydus.
All right, so you find him at Trydus.
Trydus.
You can find me pretty much everywhere on Instagram. It's at American Hellfire. Twitter, it's at Nate Peterson _ American Hellfire. I think might have already been taken or something, or it wouldn't fit or something like that. Even my own Twitch channel, you can find me at American Hellfire. I have not been streaming for a while because it has been a very hectic few months. And so I hope to at least at some point get back into streaming, because I also got a new to me PC that can actually run PC games and actually do other shit. Oh, excuse me.
One of us.
And so hopefully I can start doing that again. Not this week, probably not next week, but mid to late September, I'm thinking, if things go well. And if just something that I wanted to put out there. So, as I'm sure everyone is aware, most of our team here, Travis and Red off screen, do photography. I also have started doing that a lot more myself, and have actually started a photography page on Facebook. So, plug. Why don't you go like that page?
Nathan Peterson Photography.
Yeah, Nathan Peterson Photography is what it's going by right now. And just trying to grow that a little bit more into less of a hobby and more of something else that I can do.
Yeah. You're a good shooter, man.
I hope yesterday was evident of that.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot yesterday for a charity that we work with, and it was a good team effort. Red and Hellfire here knocked it out of the park. It was a lot of fun to do, and I think in that the photos are going to turn out great. So
definitely be on the lookout for those photos once they.
And that one's not public, or that's not really associated with Rivet City, but we might post a few just for.
Yeah, just kind of like a non RCL kind of thing, but just again something to kind of shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be shouting out to individually, I think, on our own pages, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely give all that a look, and yeah, I think we'll see you guys next time.
We will see you soon. Probably on this show. Definitely after 2DCon.
Definitely, probably at least a good week or so after 2DCon.
Definitely after 2DCon. But yeah, thank you for coming out. Thanks for hanging out. It has been fun talking about the gamings. As always, we are Trydus and Hellfire.
Yep. And we'll see you next time.
We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.